Hello, welcome to Culture Illiterate, a podcast where four friends overthink comic book movies. I am one of your hosts, Jake. I think the McRib is the greatest fast food sandwich in the history of the world. And with me are my friends and fellow co-hosts.
I'm Jason, and I'm wearing a Jalen Hurts jersey right now. That's my fun fact.
Yeah, but tell us the little tweak about the jersey, though.
Well, you see, Jacob, it's a custom Jalen Hurts jersey that instead of Hurts on the back says him, because Jalen Hurts is him. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hell
Go
yeah.
Birds. Matt.
Oh, is it my turn? Oh,
Dude,
okay.
every single I'm literally editing an episode right now where we have this same conversation where Jason does his fun fact and then you're like, wait, it's my turn, and then I comment on how you do this every episode.
Oh, well, I guess that's going to be the ongoing gag. Anyway.
Oh my god.
My favorite fast food sandwich is the Whopper. Even though, objectively, the Popeye chicken sandwich is better. But I like the Whopper because of nostalgia.
Oh god. All right. So I'm Sean, as you all know, and I like the Filet-O-Fish. So you can all hate me.
You fucking disgusting piece of shit.
Listen, real quick.
I have no respect for you. Don't you ever,
real fast,
it's judge someone's fast food taste, because you have the worst of all of them.
It's a couple, like, food items that I've realized that, like, I don't know anyone that likes them that isn't a disgusting piece of shit. And the Filet-O-Fish is one of those things. And
Hell
ginger
yeah.
ale's another one. I know
I like ginger ale.
You
I
disgusting
know three
freak.
people that love ginger ale. I'm not including Jake in this list. I know 3 other people from Jake, because I didn't know that until just now, that love ginger ale. They're all fucking disgusting.
Speaking of the Filet-O-Fish and fucking disgusting, I feel like it's worth bringing up the time, and shout out to Matt for enabling me to do this, that I got the Land, Sea, and Air Burger, also known as the McGangbang, which is a Big Mac, a Filet-O-Fish, and a McChicken all combined, and ate the whole thing. I got really drunk and did it, and it was just like me and Matt.
And
I
Jason.
witnessed
And
it.
Jason, okay, but Jason...
I witnessed it.
Jason
it was a
there, but
glorious event.
Matt was my designated driver, so I could get drunk to go pick it up, and I appreciated the enablement. And I also had a friend who knew I was doing this and thought it was disgusting, so I live texted her the whole thing.
Oh god.
Because I'm funny like that. So shout out to Matt for enabling me. Also shout out to my girlfriend Priya for always enabling me to do gross stuff. Shout outs.
Yeah, I like this podcast.
Yeah, this is gross, and she just enables it.
Listen, I have a rec, actually.
Oh wow.
Oh, I have one too. Cool.
Unless I mentioned it last episode, which I might have fucking done.
What is it?
Pop Tropica sluts. Did Sean
I
or
think
Matt?
so.
I know I talked to Jake about it in private, but I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast.
From what I thought Intergalactic was last time. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right. I wrecked Intergalactic last time. Pop Tropica sluts is a hyper pop like duo that's really good, really fucking good. They kind of go like a pop punk direction with hyper pop, and like they have so many like really catchy choruses and shit. I recommend them. Pop Tropica sluts. It's all one word. Sluts is spelled SLUTZ, and there's an exclamation point at the end. They're sick.
You slut.
I'm a slut.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I need to get around to checking them out because you've wrecked them to me, like you said, personally a few times, but I haven't yet.
I really I think they're one of the best right now.
I also wanted to throw in a quick rec, just actually based off of our previous episode, Batman and Robin. I meant to say this then, but realized I forgot. If you are someone who wants more Poison Ivy in your life, this is a much more serious route, but the currently releasing, as of saying this, will probably still be running by the time this comes out, almost for sure, Poison Ivy series by G. Willow Wilson, Marcio Takara, and R.F. Prianto is fantastic. It just wrapped its first arc. It was supposed to be a 6-issue mini, but it was getting such good reviews and selling well enough that they expanded it to 12. So for sure the first trade will be out already. Definitely check out that series if you like Ivy. It's a really fantastic look into her character and her motivations. And it does a good job making her someone you can root for while not sanitizing her out of being someone that is technically a villain and technically kind of an extremist. But But I just wanted to throw that out there because I actually meant to last app. Anyone else got anything? Any life updates or recs before we jump into this movie?
So many life updates, Jake.
Okay, well, I'm trying. Sorry for asking.
Well, I guess I can.
Well, actually, I'm seeing the band that inspired one of my tattoos. One of the tattoos I talked about getting on the podcast, the knife that says "I'll just cut my losses." I'm going to see the band that tattoo came from. So I'm excited. Heart attack.
Look
man.
at you go.
Yeah.
All right, now that we're done with Jason's music spiel, I have a rec. So
Damn.
basically, to those who don't know, I am a fan of Godzilla. Sean is as well.
Oh my god, I forgot about this. I don't know why.
Recently, well, I'm not really talking about the teaser frame that they showed about a movie releasing next year. That is something that will be for further consideration, depending on how the trailers look. But the Godzilla channel recently released a Godzilla versus Gigan Rex short.
I knew
Yes, you knew what I was talking about?
Yes, I knew what you're talking about because I saw that and I was gonna wreck that too, but
but yeah, so if you can't tell, we are big fans of Godzilla, and the Godzilla YouTube channel has released a 6-minute CGI clip. Well, not clip, it's like a 6-minute short of basically Godzilla kaiju battles. And it's amazing. It's basically it seems like they're using the same techniques they're using as Shin Godzilla, where it's suit animation, but it's a lot of CGI, but it's not bad CGI. And if you are anywhere familiar with Japanese cinema, you will know that they have horrible CGI. And the fact that it's not absolutely god awful is amazing. And the fights, the choreography is amazing. But kaiju is not for everyone, but for those who are listening and who are fans of kaiju, you should watch it.
I'm pretty sure it's also fan made by it's something called like Gemstones is the company that does it, where they've done a lot of fan made Godzilla animations, and they had made the prior one, and then Toho officially picked them up for that one.
I did not know that. I heard something about that, but I didn't really verify that, so I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I'm checking just to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing. I can't.
Wait,
I can't seem to find it. Who?
What's going on?
What is?
Jace, is that the dehumidifier?
What?
Hello?
As soon as you spoke, it went away.
There was like.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Jason, there was a noise, like a humming noise that sounded like an air conditioner. And as we were all wondering, where the fuck did it come from? And as soon as you spoke, it went away.
I did not hear any noise.
Wait, okay, back on
it's definitely
topic.
from you.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Godzilla, is the new movie that Toho announced, is that related to Shin Godzilla at all, or is it unrelated?
From what I've seen, it's
really
not.
know.
There's been a couple of things that came out was that they did say it was live action. I think they said that it really wasn't related at all from what I saw. And that it's gonna,
which is for the best. It is for the best that Shin Godzilla is left alone. Just like how
Shin Godzilla is perfect. Watch that.
Exactly. Just how like the first movie, Godzilla movie, is its own thing and it should be left alone. Same thing with Shin Godzilla. Those movies can be self-contained for all I care. It doesn't matter. They're perfect as is. Just leave it like that.
All right. Well, what do you guys say we get into talking about the topic of today's episode?
I'm cool.
You're cool.
I'm cool. We don't have to.
Jason,
we can just make this an episode about me and Sean just spieling about Godzilla all day. We can do that for an hour. We can do that
when we get to the end of these movies. We'll add Godzilla in here.
Yeah, we can do it.
I want him to atomic fucking breath my fucking brains out.
That sounds kinky.
Okay, man.
Okay, see, if for nothing else, we need to make Jason pay. Because going into the creation of this podcast, Jason said repeatedly that one of the movies that he was most anticipating was August 15th, 1997, Steel. So we're going to be talking about it. And Jason better fucking carry.
Listen, let me cut to the chase. This movie was shit.
So it is written and directed by Kenneth Johnson and shot by Mark Irwin.
And they did a terrible job.
Damn.
Can I add a little thing that I learned too? This is directly related to what you said.
Yeah.
I didn't know
please
Kenneth
do.
Johnson is the same person who made the Bionic Woman and also the Incredible Hulk show from like the 1980s or with Lou Ferrigno.
That's incredible.
Which
I
is
did not know that.
Insane to think about.
Wow, the more you know. Cue that sound effect, So it stars Shaquille O'Neal, of all people, as John Henry Irons, aka Steel. Annabeth Gish as Susan Sparks, or nicknamed Sparky, because for some godforsaken reason, this grown-ass adult allows herself to go by Sparky in this movie. And Judd Nelson as the villain Nathaniel Burke. So I had seen this movie once before and pretty much forgot all of it. And I do not have a ton of experience with the Steel character. But had any of you guys seen this movie before today? And if so, or if not, do you have any experience with Steel as a character outside of this? Or if still no, what would just kind of your general thoughts going into this movie, given its like infamous rep? Also, that background noise is back.
Oh my god, Jason, this is
Jason,
terrible.
talk.
I have no idea what.
Yeah, see, as soon as he talks, it goes away.
It is.
I am
This
so
is
glad.
so weird. It's like coming
So glad
only from
that
Jason.
this microphone was not able to pick up that humming noise.
Anyways,
I swear to God, I have no idea what you're talking about.
so getting back into the actual movie part, I guess. I've had no interactions with this movie whatsoever. I know of the character vaguely and like how he looks in like the comics, but otherwise I had no inclination or understanding of this character at all past like slight idea. And dear God, I wish I didn't see this movie.
Luckily for me, my first exposure to this character was through the DC animated film Superman. It's not Superman Returns. It's the one after Death of Superman. What was it called again?
The Reign of the Superman.
Reign of the Superman. Yes, that was my first exposure to his character, and he was decent. So I'm like, oh, I like this character. I was aware of the Shaquille O'Neal version, and I think I watched like a YouTube video of it like when I was very, very young, and I don't remember any of it except for the part where Steel decides to make his grand escape by using a fucking escalator. And that is the only thing. I got major PTSD when that scene showed up. But other than that, nothing. Also, Jason, talk so that humming can go away.
I still don't know what humming you're talking about, but I've never seen this movie is what I meant to say. I've heard plenty of things. I've never seen this movie. I heard of it years ago when I was watching a Watch Mojo YouTube video about like terrible comic book movies, and they talked about Steel, and I was like, that's so fucking funny that Shaquille O'Neal was in a movie based on a DC comic book character. So I was always intrigued and wanted to watch it, and I never had a reason to, because why the fuck would I, until this podcast that I do for some reason.
Yeah, my experience to Steel as a character is pretty limited. I've seen him here and there in some animation, and he had to be like a very minor character appearing in some comics I've read, but nothing substantial really. With the exception of, and I'll throw out one more quick rec, but I won't because it's related. But I won't go into it. This could be considered a minor spoiler, but John Henry Irons does appear in Superman and Lois on the CW, which is an absolutely fantastic show. Don't let the fact that it's on the CW deter you from watching it. It is incredible. And then I had, like I said, I saw this once before, and it was awful then, and I figured it would be awful again, and sure enough, it was. So kind of getting right into it, the movie opens with an opening credits of, which more movies in general need to have opening credits again, but these ones were in front of molten steel being poured with like really bad text graphics, and that went on way too long. And just from the start, and this is something that I'll say about the whole movie, but it hits you right away and I think carries throughout, is this movie feels like the type of movie they'd show in like a late elementary school dare class. Like, everything about it just feels like something you'd see in school. Like, they're like, oh, this is hip. This will, like, the kids will... And it's, like, super outdated, and it's just so bad.
Excuse me, the music choice was fantastic, though.
Yeah, was it, buddy?
You know, Jake, that's an excellent point. It seemingly had the budget at least for the costume of a Dare project, and it's just as effective as the Dare project. So
it's hard to believe this released theatrically. Like, I can't, it's weird to me that this was a theatrically released movie.
It feels so weird too, because it's like, this is something that's so forgotten and like nobody knows it exists or cares, rightfully so for that matter, but also like it stars Shaquille O'Neal and it's just so weird. Its existence just doesn't feel right to me.
Not at all. Shaq should have never been allowed to act. He's absolutely awful.
See,
I love Shaq. He seems like a good dude and he's hilarious, but Jesus Christ, he can't act.
but here's the thing, right? Is that you can have like a professional athletes in your movie. It just has to be the right way of using them. Like, for example, a perfect example is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's usage in the movie Airplane.
Oh, he's the best
Exactly.
in that
See,
movie.
so Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of course, can't act, but everyone in that movie plays like a super wooden character. And so when his acting is super wooden, he doesn't really stand out as like, you know, someone who's really bad. He just kind of, you know, stays within the movie's tone. So you can use that to your advantage, but unfortunately this movie seemingly had a very upbeat attitude, and so you just see Shaquille O'Neal like smiling like 80% of the time, and it's not like a good smile. It's like a creepy smile, especially coming from like a man who is 7 feet tall in a large rubber suit. And no, that illusion is always broken when he moves at all. There's always a piece of armor that's flapping around, because that piece of armor, that armor he wears is fucking rubber.
All right, well, we can get more into the quality or lack thereof of the armor when we get to that point in the plot, but to start that out, John Henry Irons is a weapons designer who invents high-tech laser guns, protective armor, and sonic sound cannons for the U.S. military. One soldier, Nathaniel Burke, decides to show just what Irons' weapons can do and sets one of his Irons' sonic cannons at the highest power setting, firing the device at an abandoned building. However, the weapon backfires and destroys the building the team is situated in. Irons' partner, Susan Sparky Sparks, is crushed by a large slab of concrete in the ensuing chaos. In court, Irons reveals that Burke's role in the incident, and Burke is dismissed from the military. Because of what his weapons resulted in Sparks becoming paraplegic, Irons resigns in disgust. Meanwhile, Burke hatches a plot to sell Irons' weapons to criminal gangs, recruiting a video game arcade manager to help him carry out his deed, which is very weird. It's this like man with a like paramilitary weapons R&D facility, and he has arcade machines in the lobby so he can lure teenagers and like gang members in and try to recruit them. It's very strange. But you guys want to talk about the setup a little bit? Because
you mean all 40 minutes of it?
Hey, it's like 25-ish to 30 minutes before we get to kind of the second. I'll say this. I actually think the movie's structured decently. It's like a 90-minute movie, and you can spend about 30 minutes in each act. But it is kind of a low-rent Iron Man movie, to be honest, with the whole weapons designer becomes disgusted with the military-industrial complex and makes his own suit to keep weapons out of the wrong hands.
No, it's not even like a rental. So how I picture it is, imagine Iron Man being like a wine barrel. And then Iron Man comes out, and then all of a sudden the wine barrel is empty. This movie is the equivalent of the stained wood inside that fucking barrel, and you have to scrape it out, and the only thing it tastes of is wood and the splinters on your fucking tongue.
So what you're saying, Matt, is that it's the bottom of the barrel, but with a lot more words.
No. It's...
Man, no, this movie tasted like splinters, bitch.
It's not good.
It's not.
Listen. I want to make it clear that I did some Googling to double check the numbers, but this movie was made around the time that Shaquille O'Neal signed a $120 million contract with the Lakers, and he decided that this was also a good career move. So right on par with that $120 million, he was like, I'ma do Steel. I'ma do steal and it's gonna be good.
It was not.
Do we?
The Lakers thing turned out better.
I have to ask, just because I don't know the history behind this movie, but does anybody know the reason why he did this? Like, he was a producer on this, so I'm just curious as to, like, how did he get involved?
Shaq is like a Hall of Fame level bag chaser. You'll notice that Shaq sponsors is like willing to put his face on just about anything for a buck, and I respect that. And he's also like in the 90s when he was like peaking as a basketball player, he tried to start a rap career. He tried to have an acting career. He's in a few other movies. He basically tried to do anything he could. So, you know what? If nothing else, like, good for you, man. Get that bag.
No, listen, let's not put disrespect on his rap career. He didn't try to start a rap career. He had a song with Biggie, Jacob. He had a song with Biggie, and it's not a bad song either.
I'll stay out of the commenting on his rapping ability. I've heard some of his music and I disagree. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I will never forgive him for
He was
Shaq
rapping.
Fu.
He's not the best rapper in NBA history. That goes to my boy Damian Lillard. But, you know, he's up there.
Yep, no lies there. Dame can spit.
Dame can spit.
All right, on that note, so Irons witnesses a bank robbery organized by gang members wielding Burke's modified guns, and they escape before he can interrogate them on the whereabouts of their weapons after he tries to chase them down. The gang does not tell Irons anything when confronted directly in their hideout. Later on, Irons visits Sparks in a veterans hospital and takes her to his own assembled laboratory where he hopes he and Sparks can create weapons needed to combat the criminals. With the help of Uncle Joe, who is played by Richard Roundtree, a character that's just kind of introduced and they don't really do a great job explaining exactly what he means to the characters in the movie. It's not really established if like Uncle Joe is like literal, which I don't think it is, or if it's just like, oh yeah, people call him Uncle Joe. He's like a nice dude, but they don't really... Anyway, that's a whole other can of worms. The lack of introducing people. But they forge a suit of armor and weaponry necessary for Irons to carry out his war on crime and become the vigilante Steel. However, during his crusade against crime, Irons is pursued by the cops and is forced to return to his lair. The next night, the robbers arrange to rob another bank. Irons, as Steel, tries to stop them, but is hindered by the robbers' weapons. When Irons returns to his grandmother's, played by Irma P. Hall, returns to his grandmother's house, he is arrested. So that kind of speeds you through a lot of like the middle chunk of the movie, like at the end of the first half and a lot of the second. But one of the things I think that's essential to talk about there is both Sparky as a character, the aforementioned rubber-looking suit, and then the action of the movie.
Oh my god. I think the other thing that I also want to mention is that like it takes so long for him to become Steel, especially since it's a short movie. That's the only reason I have a problem with it. But like they try to build up so much in terms of the characters and everything else, and it doesn't really build up to much. It really tries hard, and I can't think of a character it really succeeds.
The one like first of all, like it's one of those things. Top to bottom, the movie's awful. The costumes are awful. Not just the shitty looking armor, but all of it. The sets are awful. The acting's awful. The casting's awful. But the one respectable performance I'll give is Annabeth Gish as Sparky. I do feel for her when after she becomes paraplegic. They do a couple fucked up things where like John Henry moves her without her permission, which even if you're doing it trying to help her is like a fucked up thing to do to a disabled person. And also like credit where it's due, I guess. There's like decent rep in this. It is a largely black cast. It's the first movie we've covered, the first of these Marvel DC movies with a person of color lead, and to also have a love interest with a disability, and we'll get into this more later, but that actually treats her mostly with respect and not as just a pure victim and as a very capable person is wonderful. But as a whole, they don't really do too much. There's not much in the way of character arcs in the movie. John Henry goes through his whole I don't want to do weapons anymore thing, but there's like one scene and then it happens. And she has a whole, oh no, I'm sad because I lost my like movement in my legs, and then she gets over it after a montage of making the suit. But as far as things go, I think that is the closest you get to a decent character and performance.
I mean, like, if anything, the one thing I would say, like, character-wise that I didn't like is they all kind of fill in that stereotypical role that they're meant to. I mean, she just ends up being Hacker Man. Shaq is, you know, the superhero, and then you have, like, the buddy sidekick kind of more for comedic effect, and that's really all you have here in terms of the cast of characters, which is just, I mean, like, I can't really, like, I don't know how to put it, because I'm not in, like, I'm in this weird middle space of, like, I think the movie was at least competent when it came to, like, cinematography or other things in it, but, like, it's so boring and forgettable. The acting is so the acting is so wooden at times, especially from, like, everyone. Just it didn't stir any, like, emotion from me at any given point. It didn't make me interested. I wasn't like, ooh, yes, I want to pay attention to this. It really was like listening to, like, I'm going to mention that Jason's mic has been picking up some weird fucking buzzing for a while, and that nobody can hear, but it's like that. It's droning, and it's constantly there, and it's just boring.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's not shot or directed particularly poorly, but there's also nothing memorable about how it's the cinematography or the direction. I do think it does a respectable job establishing John Henry's values as a character. You get right away that he cares about saving people. And they do a good job showing that and not just telling you, especially when he, like, goes out of his way to try to save the criminals he's chasing down. But there's not really much to it other than that. Like, it floats a lot of, it's just, the best you can say about anything is that it's, like, fine and kind of passable. And that's the best case scenario for a trait of the movie. Most of the time, it is far worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely has ideas, but it really doesn't, like, pick any lanes for them to, like, stick to. It really doesn't, like, push further into any of the messages they have. It's like they're very one note and very one dimensional, and they don't really go past any of it.
It's sort of a good message, I guess.
Yeah, it's just the execution overall is pretty shitty. And you talk about wooden acting. There's no one more wooden than Shaquille O'Neal. Oh my goodness. This is one of those scenarios where the guy just acts with his eyebrows. And when I say act, I just mean moving them up and down when we're trying to say something quirky or something like that. Yeah, what Jason's doing right now. You can't see it, but he's moving his eyebrows up and down. So he's the acting equivalent of Shaquille O'Neal. Probably better. But, so he can't display any kind of emotion in his face. I haven't seen acting this wooden since the Mulan live action remake. This was straight up awful. He cannot make an angry face at all. Like, only thing he does when he's angry is just grit his teeth because of how angry he is and furrow his brows on occasion. And then how he, give me a second. I brought up the Mulan remake. Now I can't stop thinking about the Mulan remake and how much it pisses me off. All right, give me a second.
This is Matt's rant for the episode.
I was gonna say, Matt, we're on a roll. Run it back. Keep talking. Let's circle back to the steel suit. And how fucking god awful and not at all like metal.
Oh, don't even get me fucking started on the goddamn steel suit. What a piece of shit that was. Like, holy shit. Even his introduction was so fucking shitty. Like, they were talking about, oh, this is the final piece. And he brings up, like, the apparently white hot steel helmet. But it's not fucking white hot at all. You can see it fucking, like flapping on certain parts. So, like, oh, it's just a fucking glow in the dark piece of fucking rubber. And then, oh my goodness, once it puts it all together, it looks so fucking bad.
You know, like, that's one of the things that I also would it looks like Discount RoboCop. It just looks like Discount RoboCop.
It reminds me of the scene in Shrek 1 when Shrek puts on the armor. That's what it reminds me of. It's just some overgrown guy in the suit of armor that obviously doesn't fit him. And oh my goodness, I thought the mobility of the Tim Burton suits was bad. At least he can fucking put up his arms all the way. He looks so fucking clunky. Like, it's so bad. Like, oh my goodness, they don't film him like running at all, and for good reason. Because when they did, his fastest speed is a slight jog, and the whole of the armor is like flapping around like it has bird wings because it's so fucking shitty. What a shitty suit that is.
You know the part where like the shoulder comes off?
Yes.
I kind of wonder if that was just like an accident during filming and they just
That's what
decided
I
to write
thought.
it in.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I thought that was just like a on-site blunder that the director liked and kept in the movie.
Because it doesn't look good. It doesn't like look
No.
like that was what was supposed to happen.
Here's the reason I disagree with you. I think the thigh piece came off intentionally because there's no way in hell Shaq is a good enough actor to have on the fly had a piece of the suit fall off and like work it into the scene. As much as it does look bad, I think it's more just on it looking bad and not it being something they just decided to keep in, because I just refuse to believe that Shaq like improv'd the rest of that sequence.
Oh my gosh. That first action scene was awful too. Like, oh my god.
Let me tell you something. I don't even remember the piece of the suit falling off. That's how bad this movie was.
I did.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Because for me, when I was watching that first action scene, I was just kind of fantasizing that this is the origin story of the Danny DeVito trash man. Like this, he falls off the building and then he tumbles into trash, and while he's trying to escape from the police, and in his hour of peril, the trash man, the trash dump provides him with a motorcycle. He rides off, and as he's riding off, he goes into the junkyard, and there the trash opens the gate of trash splits open for him to make his escape. This is what it takes for me to have fun with this movie. I had to think about Danny fucking DeVito. Thank God bless that man.
I think like the suit being bad is made even worse by the fact that Shaq's just so fucking big. So, like, not only is it, like, such a bad suit, but it's just this massive man in this dog shit, like, Halloween costume, Spirit of Halloween costume kind of bullshit that someone made. Someone put time and effort into that, and it was shit. And I think, listen, it is of my stance, as I'm listening back to some other episodes of this podcast, we need to be meaner when movies are shit. And this movie was fucking dog shit, dude.
Wait, this is coming from the dude who gave Rex for Superman 3 and Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was listening to the what the fuck was that one movie with the dildo?
What?
Supergirl.
Oh.
Supergirl.
Oh.
Fucking I was listening to that episode and there were points where like you pussies, like I remember Sean was like, "Oh, well, I want to give them credit with it." No, dude, this shit sucks. It's not.
Don't even get me started. I didn't give that movie a single fucking shred of credit.
Listen,
that movie broke my
sometimes
fucking
people just
brain.
need
I
to
fucking
hear it
cried
how
in that
it is.
movie, and not the good tears.
Dude, this movie is fucking dick, dude. I'd rather lick marinated dick cheese off of a plate than watch this movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move on, I want to talk about one other thing regarding the suit. Regarding the suit, I need to hear your reactions to the gospel music montage of the suit being made.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was hard. No, that was the best part. That was hard.
I will agree with Jason. That was the best part.
It was the best part.
They try to bring it back as a motif too, as the song for the end credits, as like
it's so over the top, like that. It's because it's like I love it because that scene makes it feel like I'm like, wow, it makes it seem like they thought they were doing something good and they weren't. And I think that's funny because it makes me feel like they failed.
Okay, well,
I mean,
okay.
they did fail. They didn't make any money.
That makes me so
But
happy.
Shaq did with that $120 million contract.
This had, I believe, a $16 million budget and made about $1.6 million at the box office.
Which I'm still
It had a
surprised
$16 million budget?
What?
You said $16 million budget?
Yeah, 16 mil.
Okay, let me do the math. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal made more than that in 1 year with the Lakers.
I am pretty sure
Shaquille O'Neal.
that entire budget just went to pay for Shaquille O'Neal to star in the movie. Or maybe they spared $1 million just for the exploding effects, and that's really it.
Yeah, the effects weren't great, but I've seen far worse, to be fair.
Yeah, like for example, that fucking motorcycle he used, I'm pretty sure that's a rental. Because they only used it for one scene and you never see it again. They're back to the shitty van.
It's also funny to watch a 7-foot man on a motorcycle.
You know what? What the fuck is that? Like, how the fuck is he supposed to stay incognito in that fucking suit? You see most of his face.
As a 7'6" man.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a 7-foot man. Who else fits that description?
All right. Okay. We gotta push forward a little bit because sure we all want to.
We don't have to.
No, we don't have to.
Well, the alternative is sitting on this. Let's not drag this.
I would rather stand here. I'm sitting down, but I will voluntarily stand for 8 hours.
Listen, we don't have sponsors or anything. We don't have to like fulfill anything.
It's a pride thing.
If we can
We
just
have
stop.
My pride's in the garbage. What the fuck are you talking about?
Do it for the any listeners that we have are absolutely here for Jason and Matt tearing this thing to shreds. So do it for them, guys.
Okay.
So
Right.
meanwhile,
I'll fuel their masochistic tendencies.
Okay. Well, meanwhile, Burke prepares to auction off all his modified weapons to every criminal organization in the world over the internet. I guess this movie was excited by the fact that the internet exists. When Irons is released from jail, Sparky is captured by Burke's thugs. Irons, as Steel, attempts to infiltrate Burke's headquarters, but is captured himself in the process. When Burke continues with the auction, he is tricked by Steel, which allows him and Sparks to rebel and destroy Burke's lair. Burke himself is killed when a laser he fires towards Steel reflects back at him due to Steel's suit. Side note, it reflects off of his ass and blows him up, which I actually laughed at. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's like the second ass shot in the movie because the first time they show him use the magnetic powers of the suit, it like shows stuff hooking to his ass.
Yeah, I forgot to mention.
So there are some ass shots of Shaq.
Yeah, we did forget to mention the first highlight of this movie of it being things sticking to Shaq's ass.
And then, sorry, real quick, let me finish this paragraph. But after, fair enough. After this, Steel, Sparky, Joe, and Martin, who is inexplicably played by Ray J, escape Burke's lair. So at this point, I think we kind of have to talk about the action, because I'm going to come in with the hot take, sort of, and say I didn't hate all of the action. I actually think it's shot, like, coherently, that you can see what's going on, which is a low bar, but more than I expected from this movie. And there's a couple bits that are so cheesy, it kind of works for me. Like when the train car is falling on him and he rolls out of the way into like the door opening. That said, my biggest issue and the reason I think the action is bad is just Shaq is so fucking slow because he's like 7'6", however many pounds, and also in that suit, that the people fighting him have to slow down too. And they needed to either do a better job of cutting around how slow it was, or making it so within the action sequences his lack of speed is a feature and not a bug, and have it be clear that while he has a tremendous amount of power and strength and weaponry, he does not have speed, and that is a weakness, and that he has to overcome through his wits and his brains, because he's also like a genius, and they just kind of don't do that. So a lot of the action is just really, really fucking slow and unexciting, despite being weirdly decently shot, in my opinion.
Come on, just cut him some slack. All he needs to do is just protect the rim. That's it.
Speaking of, they really love to hammer home the Shaq can't make free throws joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say I find it really funny their like dedication to basketball references. Like they go into the arcade and like the first thing you see is like NBA Jam, and then like it keeps like anything else, like fucking, that's like if you went to see Dunkirk and like there were just boy band references anytime Harry Styles was on screen. Like it just like he's not playing Shaq.
4 separate times he looks into the camera and says something about never hitting free throws, and it's like, okay, we get it. Ha ha ha, we know.
We know. We saw your bum ass play.
To the point of this climatic scene, the climax relies on him throwing a grenade out of a hole in some fence in an elevator and being like, "Oh, I never make these," and it teetering on the edge. You hinge your finale on a meta joke about the actor, in air quotes, playing your lead and making a free throw. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's just. I don't even know how to describe that. I wanted to call it lazy, but it's not even lazy, it's just stupid.
They thought it was clever.
Oh, they definitely thought it was funny to bring it up as many times as they did.
The one time that he's when he first comes home from the military and then the ball rolls over to him and he takes a shot and he misses and they're like, "Oh man, anyone could have made that." And then he just shrugs at the camera and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
See, I'm going to bring up Airplane again because they actually, again, use Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? They keep on referencing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's basketball career, but in funnier ways. One of the ways they did it was basically have a kid recognize him as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, even though he's not playing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the kid starts dissing his professional career, and Kareem gets super pissed at the kid. And then the other time was when he got a stomach ache, so he got knocked out. Don't ask why, but he basically got knocked out. And when they pulled him out of the seat, he's in complete Lakers gear. And then
with the goggles on.
And then when you see him being dragged to the back of the airplane, he's still wearing his Lakers gear. And so
that's a great fucking movie. Let's talk about Airplane instead.
Yeah, we should talk about Airplane. But but unfortunately we can't because of pride or something.
Cause Jake's no fun and he's our boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't told you guys yet. We actually
of Culturally Illiterate LLC.
we actually are making money off of this, and we just haven't told you guys. That's a lie.
We're just not getting
I'm gonna
paid.
sue
He's
the
making
fuck
all
out
the
of you.
money off of us.
I'm going to.
Dude,
So
he's getting that HelloFresh bread constantly.
the other God no.
We're not sponsored. We're not sponsored by anybody.
But the other thing about the action is it's filled with shit ass one-liners
And puns. Don't forget the puns.
Puns, one-liners. It's exhausting by the end of it.
And none of them are actually funny.
So none of them are funny. There is the sentence, "I especially like the shaft," when they're talking about the hammer. That's funny, but not intentionally.
I did find the what was it? The one, I've got to find the quote. Oh my god, somebody mute Jason right now.
I know.
Oh god, but oh yeah, well, I'll be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs. I'll give that one a plus.
At least take it further.
That was good.
Dipped in shit, rolled in breadcrumbs, and deep fried in peanut oil.
You know what? I'm gonna break up before we wrap up the plot. I'm gonna tell one story that I said over the Skype call, but I feel like I should convey. So, we were all watching virtually together, but I'm at my place with Priya, who I live with, and let's be honest, I had an itch. I had to scratch my nuts. So, I'm scratching, and Priya looks at me and goes, jokingly, obviously, didn't actually think this, "Are you masturbating?" And I said, "Yeah, nothing gets me going like Shaquille O'Neal." And she's coined the phrase "whack for Shaq." So I just want that to be on the record. We whack for Shaq in this establishment.
Well, isn't that what they did against him to,
Oh yeah, whack a Shaq.
Yeah, they whacked for Shaq.
It's hack a Shaq. Hack a Shaq.
No, they were whacking for Shaq.
Okay, yeah, they were whacking for Shaq, sure.
Yeah.
So to push onward, the following day, Colonel David, played by Charles Napier. I think it's funny that this summary that I got really throws in every actor they can. Talks to who he thinks is Arnold Schwarzenegger, but is actually Irons using a voice changer about Steele and the events of what happened the day before, and offers him to help before realizing it's actually Irons who he's talking to. Side note, I don't know why it's well established, though well aware of the fact that the person who is Steele is not white, so I don't know why they choose to make him use Arnold's voice, but whatever. And Irons declines David's offer. In the grand opening of her restaurant, Iron's grandmother tells him about Steel and tells Joe that everyone would be proud of his heroism and would be proud to have him in their family, alluding to the fact that she knows, which, I mean, how would you not know? I mean, look at the man. After Sparky shows the modifications of her wheelchair that allows her to stand, Iron smiles and hugs her. The gospel music kicks back in. They, for some reason, don't kiss despite the romantic tension. And that is the plot of Steel. So
we didn't talk about the one thing I forgot about, which was the grandmother and her fucking souffles the entire movie.
And them whispering in her house.
Them whispering every time, and it doesn't make sense, and they don't explain it.
Yeah, they're inside the house, and yet they still whisper to each other.
I don't get if it's a joke. Is this...
It's because the souffle is very delicate, so if you're too loud, you'll make it cave in.
What? I get it, but it's still it's a weird and unfunny joke, the souffle whispering thing, which also went on for too long before they established while they were whispering. And then I'll tell you, she the French rep, and then ultimately just kind of a weird thing, and I can only think that it was a lack of having to build, if they couldn't afford to build another set. But the restaurant that she was running at the end, which is a French restaurant that she names Black and Bleu, is being run out of her house and just like bleeding onto her lawn and sidewalk, which is interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of things we could say about this movie. You know what, actually circling back to one other thing about the action that I wanted to talk about was just how empty this movie's set in LA. The streets are empty. LA is such a densely populated, notoriously trafficked location. I would imagine, I wasn't around, I don't know much about 1997 LA, but I'd imagine it was true then. And but every action sequence, there's no civilians. LA is a completely dead city. And it's a major metropolitan area. I don't care how late at night it is, there's going to be some people around.
Yeah.
And there's almost nobody. And it takes away a lot of the stakes, especially when one of John Henry's like central characteristics is wanting to protect other people and wanting to get these guns off the streets of his city. When we see some property damage, but we never see a whole lot of people being inflicted. And that's a shame. Also, in this moment, I'm realizing the plot summary did not include the fact that Sparky has a weaponized wheelchair and absolutely carries in the final fight to get them out of there. So I just wanted to throw that in because that was kind of cool.
You know what? Shout out to Sparky. She literally carries, like literally. Like this whole thing would not be functional without her.
I hate that every time we mention her name, it sounds like we're talking about a dog.
Because there's a golden retriever in this movie, which is maybe the best part of it, and that is not the character named Sparky. The grown-ass woman is.
So where do you guys rank Shaq all time?
In terms of actors, probably right above Chaplin, right below Brando.
I was just trying to make a joke about ranking Shaq in terms of basketball, but that's funnier than my joke.
Thanks, buddy. I think he's the best center of all time.
No, Kareem.
I think Shaq's just more physically dominant.
No one's touching Kareem.
Yeah, I'll get the tilt to Kareem. I think Kareem was better.
I think Kareem's better.
That's fair. He was the dream.
That's Hakeem.
No, that's Hakeem.
You're right. Sorry, I'm being stupid. Oh my god.
That's a completely different guy. Also a great center, though.
Oh, I know. I'm just so beat right now. I'm just thinking great centers, and I'm just like, dream.
I wish we were talking about basketball.
Yeah, well, we're not.
I love balls,
Here we
guys.
are.
I love balls. All of them.
Sixers, fire Doc Rivers. Hopefully that's already happened when this comes out.
We need Sam
Probably
Cassell.
not. We need
Sam
anybody
Cassell.
else. We need to have no coach. It would be better.
No, I promise you Sam Cassell could take us to a championship if he was head coach. I promise that.
Whatever. Go Philly. All sports.
Yes, absolutely.
So, all right.
Also, go Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
So... Yeah, at the time of recording this. God, that is so much more pleasant than this movie. All right, guys, let's closing thoughts. Favorite thing. Try your best to come up with a favorite thing. Least favorite thing, and would you recommend? I'll go first to give you guys time to think. I wrote down weirdly more positive things than I would have thought for this movie, which is absolutely awful. It is without a doubt in my bottom 3 for what we've watched so far, along with Swamp Thing and Supergirl. It's contending for the last spot, but I don't know that it's my least favorite. But it's right there. That said, there is a good a scene that I kind of like where the cops are trying to arrest John Henry and book him for being Steel, and the couple of people that it shows him save refuse to identify him. Both a civilian couple, this like older white couple, and a police officer, and that's kind of a nice scene and a nice moment. And then, like I said, Sparky is the closest thing you get in terms of a character with an arc and being worthwhile. And I do respect that they did I think, a decent job making Sparky not just a victim as someone who's in a wheelchair, who runs the operation of Steel, who can kick ass in her own right and is like absolutely essential to their success in this movie. That said, of the many, many bad things from the acting, the suit, I mean, I've talked about like every single thing about this movie you could say at least something negative about. There's a lot of missed opportunities too. I think this movie feels really oblivious of itself in that a lot of the plot has to do with a white opportunistic man taking advantage of like local black youth and flooding the street there with weapons so that he can make money and have power, and just the lack of caring of who he sells these weapons to. And also the imagery of the police hunting down this like large black man and trying to arrest him for helping people is imagery that is very weighted, even if the movie doesn't seem to realize that it is. And it makes the whole movie feel very oblivious of itself. And I get that it wasn't going, it was trying to be like a cheesy, fun movie, but it's still, the imagery, even if unintentional, is there, and it just makes it feel a little weird to me. But ultimately, I just think the worst part's got to be Shaq. The dude, well, they use his size kind of well, and like he physically looks like the character in that. It's to me like the quintessential example of when people see people like fan cast online, and they're clearly just going off of this person looks like the comic book character, and therefore I am fan casting them regardless of the fact if they fit the role or can even act. It's stunt casting, and it's bad, and he is not good in any way in this role. It's honestly painful to watch. I don't recommend the movie. It's awful. Like I said, it's one of the worst things we've watched for this. It's one of the worst things I've watched, period. And I plan to never go back to it after watching it for this. And you shouldn't go to it in the first place if you can avoid it.
It won't be hard to avoid because this movie is so fucking hard to find, which is to the benefit of humanity. So, as for me, the one good thing about this movie is the scene where Sparky goes apeshit and starts killing everyone around her and blows up the entire warehouse. That was cool. Everything else sucked. Nothing like in particular, just everything else. All the action, the sets, which is just basically just LA, the suit design, the fucking vehicles, Shaq, especially Shaq, yes. He's so bad that I mentioned him twice. So yeah, that's it. It's awful. It was so awful that even Jason didn't like it.
My least favorite thing was the fact that I had to spend 90 minutes of my life watching it. For a podcast that has no sponsors. We gotta get on that. Jake, I've been meaning to talk to you. We gotta get some sponsors on.
We need listeners first. And I'll tell you what, this movie would have been better if it was 10 to 15 longer. I'm just gonna say it.
It would have been better if they had kept it on the shelf and never made it.
If I give each of us $1 to sponsor us all, can I be a sponsor for us?
Yes.
What's your company name?
I'll take your $1.
Hell yeah. I'll give you an ad read.
My favorite part was probably the impact that Shaquille O'Neal had on basketball, the game of basketball, and how it was played by the centers.
Points for creativity.
So, yeah, I think he had a big impact on that, and I think, that's my favorite sport, so I really appreciate that. That was my favorite part. And I don't recommend this shit. It was fucking garbage. Anyone who had a part in it should be ashamed, and I don't feel bad for saying that. I hope they all hear this, too. Especially you, Shaq. You're not better than Kareem. I don't care what Jake says. You piece of shit. Listen, Shaq, you're a great player. Very philanthropic as well.
Jace, drop a hyperpop Shaq diss track.
I'll think about it, man. Listen, Shaq, you're not even top 5 all time.
All time overall, or do you mean center?
Oh, he's definitely top 5 center.
Okay, I was gonna say you're out of your fucking mind if you just mean center. Okay.
He's easily top 5 center.
Oh boy. All right, I'll give my thoughts now. Least favorite thing. Oh god, I'm gonna give it to the acting. It's just god awful from everyone involved. I mean, even who's playing Sparky again? Do you remember the name?
Let me scroll up one sec. It's Annabeth Gish.
Okay, Annabeth she's still like a good part of this, I will say, but I would not say that it was good acting in this either. It's very corny in 90s. Just across the board, everybody feels like that. She's still a tier above everybody else, I would add. So I give her credit for making it a little bit more feasible to watch. My favorite part is the music. Really hits me in the soul, where it matters. God damn. I can't think of anything better than that. So yeah, I don't recommend this movie. It's so goddamn boring. Oh my god, it's so goddamn boring.
Ladies and gentlemen, as of this recording, Matt is single, so our email is open to inquiries.
I'm not looking.
I know it wasn't serious,
but
though it would be kind of funny if we got an inquiry.
But Jason is.
But I am looking. So if anyone listen.
Yeah, I
don't got anything going on.
We have a very compatible bachelor.
That is very much open to all genders.
Absolutely.
Sorry to disappoint, but me and Sean are locked down, baby. Surprisingly, not with each other.
I'm disappointed.
All right, I don't want to beat a dead horse anymore. I think we all need to move on from this as soon as possible for all of our well-being.
No, we keep talking about this. We have to keep talking about this. After we're done with the recording, I'm going to continue to talk about this.
No, we talked about this long enough to cover an episode, and then we're good. So thanks to friend of the show, Alo at Vodmort, VODMORTE on Twitter for our artwork. Or not thank you, because creating the artwork allowed us to create this podcast, which means we had to watch this movie. You can follow me on Letterboxd. It's JakeWalter98 for bad movie opinions. Jason, please plug away.
I make music. I made the intro-outro music for this podcast that you're listening to. I make you could follow me on Instagram at the Upsides PA, on Twitter at the _Upsides PA. I have a SoundCloud, the Upsides. Any and all shit is on there. I'm working on new music. It's a long process. I'm getting there. It'll be out. Fuck you. It's my music. I can fucking put it out whenever I want. Get off my back.
Now, oof. Thank you all, and whack for Shaq.
All right. So if you're interested in continuing to check us out, you can follow us at illiterate_pod on Twitter and Instagram. You can reach us at culturalliteratepod@gmail.com. Please leave a review. All episodes are on YouTube as well. That's Culture Illiterate Podcast is the channel name. And I am happy to report, largely for all our sakes and yours if you happen to be watching along, that it does genuinely get much better next, because we are rounding out the 90s, rounding out the millennium with a movie that's actually was one of my most anticipated to talk about with y'all, and that is Blade. So we will catch up with you next episode to discuss a hell of a kick-ass movie and quite the turnaround from this one, if I do say so ahead of time myself. Blade, next episode. Please listen.